Week one in the books, in the tubes, down the drain, depending on how your fantasy week went, depending on how your gambling week went. I know how mine went. 1-4, wasn't good. Wasn't good at all. Nothing went my way. Lost last night by 1 point. 31-point lead going into the evening. I'm all done. He's got Ben Roethlisberger. And Dougie's sweet brown ass handed it to me last night with 32 points out of Roethlisberger. I lost by 1 point. Chandler Cannizzaro, whatever the hell his name is, missed a field goal on Sunday night. We already talked about the unfortunate benching of C.J. Anderson. I promise you that'll never happen again. You're listening to the Line Sports Talk podcast. That's all the whining I hope to do tonight about how lousy my fantasy decisions were over the weekend. There's more whining to come when I start to whine about my upset specials and all my other picks. But before that, let me introduce my partner in crime in the office tonight, Joe Peeps. Joe, you there?
Yeah. I was thinking about something when you were talking about all that. I really, really hope a lot of our listeners didn't take our gambling advice this past week, because chances are if they did, then they're probably not listening to us right now because they lost so much they don't have an avenue to listen to us right now.
I'm sure. You know what, we stress enough times that there's nothing about us as professional. This is just good time jive talk. And who's betting the first week anyway? I wouldn't. We said it before. We'll say it again. Why are you betting the first week? Have fun with it. See what you can do. Man, I'll tell you what, the real fun is to be had in the daily fantasy games. I talked to a lot of people out there. We're going to have a special guest in this week. Hope to bring him in here on tomorrow night. Just got to work out a few loose ends and see if he can get in here and talk to us a little bit about his strategy, because he's been pretty damn successful with all of this. Taking home some big winners, some fantasy, so hats off to him. But we'll get him in here tomorrow night, hopefully, and he can tell us a little bit about his process and how he goes on picking. For the last couple of years, every couple of weeks he's laying a nice number and getting some good wins and good returns back. So we'll hopefully talk a little bit more about that. But I don't know, man. Big week to recap. Monday night games. What's a catch, Joe?
All I can say is this: Northeast Ohio, you're gonna have to grin and bear a terrible, terrible year upcoming for you. I am by no means a prophet, but I could pretty much just look at what I see and tell you your Cleveland Browns are going to be so terrible. I mean, epic proportions terrible. And there's a team, speaking of Monday night, there's a team that wears silver, or black and gold, I should say, and they're from the Steel City, that look like it looks like all roads potentially, I know it's very early, but could be very much looming for a Pittsburgh-New England showdown. You have a team, the Steelers, that it's a scary thought, but it looks like opponents are going to have to put up 30 with a week to put themselves in a position to win. That offense just looks like it's so explosive.
Yeah, no, it's week one. I don't disagree with you at all. Pittsburgh looked absolutely they looked awesome, but it's week one. We don't know how bad Washington could be. They're a playoff team from last year, but we've discussed it. They beat nobody. You astutely pointed out to me earlier that Washington didn't beat anybody. They got spanked in the first round of the playoffs by a very good team in Green Bay. So maybe Washington sucks, but give or take, we know Pittsburgh's a good team. We know that that's a good football team. Can we touch briefly on the Josh Norman bullshit?
We can touch. I mean, he's not going to do much on Antonio Brown as it is. Nobody is.
Antonio Brown's the best wide receiver in the NFL. I don't know that anybody's going to cover him and shut him down all night. I just don't know that that's going to happen.
With these rules. Not with these rules in today's NFL, you cannot get physical with these wide receivers, and it just frees them up. It's something I think these rules are meant to favor the wide receiver and the offenses, because they want to see points.
Yeah, they absolutely are. I saw some bullshit calls all day on Sunday too, just real ticky-tacky. I was watching the Raider game, of course, and Rondé Barber, former Buccaneer defensive back, was calling that game, and he was, you could almost hear him fuming over the airwaves as he was calling the game, because, as a former corner, he's watching these things happen and say, I could have never played. I could have never been successful if I had played within these rules. But watching last night, some things jumped out at me. Josh Norman, look, the couple times that he did cover Antonio Brown, he made a couple plays. He broke up a couple passes. He was on him pretty well. The one play that I thought he stripped the ball loose, what's a catch? I think that there's so many different circumstances, and the catch depends on all these different scenarios. And the whole catch rule, I mean, we don't have time to get into it tonight, so I'm actually sorry I brought it up. But the whole catch rule itself, to me, is contradictory, and it's horseshit. And I wish that somebody would come to the conclusion that the moment you catch the ball, you obtain possession, your feet come down, that should be the end of that. I don't like this maintaining possession through the catch.
And having to make a football move.
I think it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Once the moment you maintain, I mean, essentially the moment you maintain possession, you obtain possession, and your feet hit the ground, so both feet in, a knee, whatever the case might be, that's a catch. It's over. So if you're in the end zone, the moment the ball crosses the goal line, if you're running towards the end zone, the play is immediately over because you had possession in the end zone. So if you catch the ball, come down with both feet, and somebody comes up and knocks it out of your hands, as long as you obtain possession at some point, the play should end based on the rule. And I hope I'm explaining that as my brain seeing it. Maybe I'm not, but I just don't like the way it was. And Antonio Brown last night catch the ball. Josh Norman knocks it out of his hands. I thought that was a catch.
I did too. I really did. I thought it was, but they had Jerry Austin get on there and explain it, I guess, according to the rules, and we can go on all night whether they're ridiculous or not, but he did not make a football move. I didn't have possession. I don't know. It's kind of, ever since that Des Bryant play in the NFC Championship game, I've had such a problem with that, because I think you're taking away part of the game. You're taking away a great play made by a very good player. Des Bryant, that should have been a great play. Great catch made by a great player, and a huge moment was taken away from him by the official and some stupid rule. Yeah. Also, I think that last night Josh Norman made a great defensive play, was taken away from him by a stupid rule. So, whatever. I mean, the NFL it's just going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah, I completely agree. We agree with each other. Holy smokes! But I agree. Let me ask you this.
It does happen.
It does. Kirk Cousins.
Kirk.
You don't like him.
I don't like that, Kirk. I don't like that. Repeat myself again. I watched you miss wide open throws. You had him there. You did not look poised. Yeah, let's just throw the cards on the table, like you said.
By the way, I hate that.
What's that?
I hate poised when coming to describe quarterbacks. I don't know. It's just one of my things. Sorry. Carry on.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's just throw the cards on the table. I don't think he looked like a franchise quarterback last night. And like you said, it's week one, so maybe there's no room to panic. They're human beings, they're entitled to a bad game here and there. But for a guy who bet on himself this year and was supremely confident that he was worth all this money and didn't take what they offered him this year, he might. I don't know. It's not a good start.
You know, Gruden last night, John Gruden, I know we're going to be dealing with two Grudens talking about that game, but John Gruden had made some comments, you know, that if you're the quarterback coach there, I can't remember who the quarterback coach in Washington is, but he made the comment that he can grab Kirk Cousins, and Gruden's great. I mean, this was early in the first quarter. Grab Cousins and tell him to cool it, calm down, back off literally, because he was absolutely throwing some rocket shots. And I think that Monday night, week one, you're on a national stage against the Pittsburgh Steelers team where there's all eyes on you. Like you said, he bet on himself playing for a contract this year. I think he was putting a little too much mustard on everything. He was really trying a little bit too hard. He was pressing. And that never, in athletics, never translates well from the batter's box to the tee box to trying to unload anything over the middle. It doesn't translate well sometimes when you press. And he looked like somebody who was pressing.
No. But if you're a guy who's going to make the kind of money that he wants to be paid for, like a franchise quarterback, these are the moments where you got to shine, dude.
Yeah,
these are it.
You can't do that.
This is where you earn your money.
How about Jordan Reed? How good is he?
Kid's a stud. Kid can play.
Yeah, I was watching last night, and I think he had 11 targets, which tells me, and he was their leading receiver last year in Washington too.
He is definitely their go-to guy. Deshaun Jackson is not. Deshaun Jackson is good for a big play, stretch the field here and there, but he's not your every down go-to guy. Where this guy's he's a security blanket. He's going to get open. He's a guy you can find, you can rely upon the entire game. Whereas Deshaun Jackson is really one of those guys. I don't mean to call him a one-trick pony. I think he's a little bit better than that, but he's kind of that guy. You got to if you can get him deep on a big play or hit him on a screen. Hopefully, maybe he can, with his speed, he can take it to the house. But he's a big play receiver. He's not your every down reliability type receiver.
He can pick you up something on a crossing pattern. You just got to get him free. You can't expect him to make too many catches in traffic. But no, he's a good athlete too. I was just watching Jordan Reed last night, and I'm thinking, boy, the kid's pretty good. And then it dawned on me that he's good, but not Gronk. He's just
Nobody's
not
Gronk.
Good. He's just not. But I do think that Jordan Reed might just be the second best tight end in the NFL. I do. I think he's got the athleticism. I think everything's there. But he's not Gronk. And I've noticed that last night. There was a couple times that they definitely called his number on 3rd and long, and anything thrown underneath that marker, he popped a couple of them where he made people miss and looked really good. But those are plays that you just 99 out of 100, you see Gronk just go through people and take that first down. And Reed wasn't able to do it last night. Now, look, I mean, it's not fair to compare him. But I just wanted to bring – I think Jordan Reed's a hell of an athlete, and he's going to be a very, very good tight end in this league for some time to come. The other thing I really wanted to talk about in that game last night was Todd Haley's testicles. Todd Haley has some big, big balls. Some of the play calling, and they send these options in with Roethlisberger, and Roethlisberger's got huge cojones too. These guys they're on the same page. I love the trust.
I agree with that too, but they also have they know how good their personnel is. They know what they got. It's almost like it's almost like saying a celebrity has balls going up to a girl at the bar when he's a celebrity. you know what I mean? He's got the clout. So is it really big balls or just really understanding what you have?
Yeah, you're right. It's faith in that receiver, and for Roethlisberger to check down and realize there's no run here and get the ball up in the air and let Antonio Brown make a play, just special. He turned D'Angelo Hall's ass around on the play fake, and the moment he did, look, Roethlisberger, I'm not a Steeler fan, you know this, but I don't hate him. Man. That's a good football team, and they are fun to watch offensively.
No, I have as I've grown older, I have too much respect for the organization itself and how they do things. They hate them.
It's fun to watch.
They're successful. They're successful. The Browns are basically like that. They're like that chubby little brother. Who are so over jealous of their over successful sibling. That's why they tend to use the word hate. But at the end of the day, it's not really hatred as much as it's jealousy.
It is, and it's just why can't we do that? But I don't want to leave. I want to leave last night's game in the dust, but I want to leave it with this. The one thing that I took away from it when I went on to the next game and started to watch that abysmal, boring disaster that is the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Didn't think the Niners were going to be that bad this year, and they by all accounts looked very good against the worst Jeff Fisher team I've ever seen in my entire life. Offensively, that team just don't even exist. And I got to bring this up. When you saw Case Keenum throw the ball in one place and receivers were in another all night, that's a telltale sign that these guys are not even on the same page. They're not understanding what's happening at the line of scrimmage. Whereas Roethlisberger probably showed Antonio Bryant his pinky, and Bryant knew that's automatic. I'm up top. There was just this level of communication that you see with championship teams that you look at teams that will probably be drafting in the top 3 again next year again. And you